Welcome to another deliciously insightful episode of Naples Revealed, where we dig into everything that makes life in Naples, Florida so tempting. And today, I mean that quite literally. My name is Renee Hahn, your Naples Real Estate Expert. So, whether you're a foodie on a mission, a budget-conscious snowbird, or you're just wondering how much that fancy seafood tower might actually set you back, we're serving up the real scoop on food costs in Naples, Florida. So let's chew on this. Is eating in Naples just for the rich and famous, or can us regular folks get in on a good grub too without taking out a second mortgage on our grocery cart? We're going to start with grocery costs to see what you're paying for in paradise. And yes, the age-old Naples question, is this $7 jar of organic almond butter a luxury or just the price of living in paradise? So let's break it down. For Naples, a family of four typically spends between $350 to $500 a month on groceries here. That's assuming you're not going overboard in the gourmet aisle. Expect to pay around, it's 2025 and it's over the summer, $4.50 for a gallon of milk, $3.50 for a loaf of bread, and a small fortune if your kid insists on fancy cereal with a talking toucan on the box. Compare that to Fort Myers. Head north and you might trim about $50 off that monthly bill. Think about $300 to $450 a month, though the selection might feel a little less curated. Sarasota is pretty neck and neck with Naples in that $350 to $480 a month. But hey, they have to feed all those art critics up there. Miami grocery shopping is basically a designer handbag experience with costs that go from $400 to $600 a month. Now, especially if you're shopping at a place that also offers valet, of course. The national average in comparison, according to the U.S. Bureau of Labor Statistics, the national average is around $600 a month for a family of four. So Naples actually gives you a little breathing room and maybe even enough left over for that bottle of wine you've been eyeing. Dining out, so when you're thinking about fine dining or you're in it for the free bread basket, Naples has something for every appetite and every budget. Mid-range restaurants you'd expect to spend around $20 to $40 a person for what I would call a standard dinner. Add cocktails and suddenly you're considering a second job. Now, you've got casual lunch spots where you might actually find a satisfying lunch that will run you around $15, unless you're near the beach, and then of course, it might come with a side of scenic view subcharge. Dinner in the works. For a date night, you're looking to spend at least around $50 per person, and that's without the drinks and especially the posh pockets when you go down to like Fifth Avenue or Bayfront area. Now, here's a pro tip. If the menu doesn't have prices, you're not ordering dinner, you're committing to it. So let's compare to our neighbors. In Fort Myers, more wallet-friendly options exist with plenty that are what I would say under $30 in terms of dining gems. Still tasty, just less truffle oil. Sarasota actually has slightly pricier prices, around $25 to $45 a person. But hey, you're probably paying for the ambiance and maybe a cello in the corner. Miami dining out is an event. Plan to pay at least $60 per person and most likely way more. And maybe take a second look at your credit limit before ordering appetizers. Now, the national average comes in around $15 to $30 per person. So Naples definitely leaned towards the treat yourself territory. But if you came from the palm trees and fresh seafood and that's why you're here, you knew what you were getting into. So let's look at some other options where, some local hacks, if you will, where you can eat smart, not go into debt. Farmers market. The local markets are gold mines for fresh produce, artisan bread, and locally made goodies. You can pick up avocados for around $1 each or some fresh baked sourdough for $5. Bonus points if you still get it feeling warm when you pick it up to take it home. Food trucks. Now, Naples' food truck scene is low-key fabulous. I will tell you, it surprises people. It is a little pricey. You can grab a gourmet sandwich or a loaded rice bowl for around $8 to $15. But there are some things that cost way more than that, and you still have some leftover that you could get your drinks and whatever it is. Now, another secret is happy hours. These are practically a sport. Half-priced apps, 2-for-1 drinks, and enough small plates to feed a medium-sized army. So, what's the verdict? Naples can be as budget-friendly or as bougie as you want it to be. There are shopping options like Walmart and other things that are going to give you a better price advantage. Or you can go to some of the others like Whole Foods or Seed to Table, where you're going to pay a little bit more, but you're getting a bit more options in terms of organic and whatnot. Now, I will tell you, I think Publix is a little overpriced down here. When I shop in other places, unless you're going to Lake Oconee, and then it's even more expensive, then you're going to pay a little bit more here than you might in your northern locations. So sure, you might pay a bit more for your groceries or dine with a view that cost as much as your entree. But let's be real, there's no price tag on eating a fresh grouper sandwich while watching the sun dip into the Gulf. In Naples, every bite comes with a side of sunshine, good vibes, and maybe even a little bit of Gulf breeze in your hair. So we're hoping you're satisfied, that we've satisfied your appetite for information and maybe made you a little hungry too. My stomach's certainly growling. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share if you've enjoyed today's episode. And stay tuned. There's more to explore, more to reveal, and more reasons to fall in love with Naples, Florida. Until next time, keep savoring the flavor of paradise.